All right. Technically, flash fiction is just a really quick fiction story. I'm taking some writing classes, and
so you're not going to flash us?
Oh no, that's cool. I will. I mean, I don't mind. I got no damn shame. That's all right. And I might be pushing the 7-minute limit. Just throwing that out there. Not a big deal. Okay. So anyway, I call this the Deadly Seven. I saw it, you know. That day the Deadly Seven made their way across the plaza. Seven blokes who broke into a bank and took all that they could. The largest bank in 3 states was known as the Southern Illinois National Bank, or SIN Bank for short. You see, SIN had a special tank to store the mighty wares of billionaires. 30 billion if they had played their cards right. They almost did. But alas, fate is as she is. She guided the powers of synchronicity upon the public stage of the Cardinal Plaza. I was standing quite still, sitting on a bench next to the only tree in this marble-laden park, minding a gorgeous day while reading a book and watching the dozens of tourists mixed with the hundreds of business folk. I hadn't known what I had seen at the time, but the police made me recount this detail numerous times. The Deadly Seven's 3 conspicuous white cargo vans pulled up to the freight door. The first driver, Pride, pulls out one of the security cards that Lust had made for everyone, and van number 1 now entered Sin. Envy rolls through, driving the second van. Wrath brings in the third. All secured inside, leading to the tank where the rich frivolities were stored. Burst in blazing flame. Solid steel door, unable to protect against security measures overridden. Greed goes for the gold to the tank with the material carts that were able to hold anything grabbable. Sloth moves to the security counter and locks down the facility. First turning off all the alarms, then sets the radio frequency traps. Gluttony moved in second after greed. More material carts and black duffel bags galore. Lust handled the crowd, making sure that no one left. Lust had made sure of this the hard way. The police later figured that they made off with almost $12 billion in cash, bonds, deeds, jewelry, and keys to unknown second locks. A video feed showed that the deed took only 20 minutes long, whereas the police took 18 to respond. For no one knew. How could they? The Deadly Seven had it all pinned down. They set up cell phone blockers, white noise generators, Wi-Fi disruptors, and radio scramblers. It took a while, but a TV broadcast station neighboring the building saw the interference and called the cops. This wasn't right. At minute 15, the first of the 3 vans left the premises. Pride was driving again, accompanied by Lust and Sloth. They were carrying almost 16,000 pounds of currency paper and valuables in those reinforced vans. The next minute is where the police said it started to go haywire. 16 minutes in, tempers started to flare between Envy and his greed. The customers in the crowd could faintly hear, "Take the other cart, hurry up," bellows Envy. "At least grab the expensive stuff. You're grabbing junk bonds and stupid treasure hunt keys," barked Greed. Wrath screams, "No time, no time, no time! Go now!" Minute 17 is where the video shown had seen the second van leave. Envy and Gluttony making their way to waypoint 2. But do not misconstrue the circumstance of what happened next. At the first turn past their exit, Envy runs over an elderly woman in a wheelchair as her husband was pushing her through the crosswalk. Blood was now running everywhere in the street. This could not be undone. But they get away from all those people left behind in the mid-morning sun, less than 20 seconds before the police had come. "One more, just one more cart," says Greed to himself. Wrath hops in the van, now hearing the clamoring commotion running rampant outside. No Greed. Where is he? Wrath leaves the van running and now runs for Greed. Greed lost to the tank's sound barrier between Wrath and he. Seconds count when robbing a bank, you know. Wrath pulls open the thick steel door, throwing Greed to the wall, screaming, "I am not joking! We are gone!" And with that, they too scramble. But the people were now in the hallways, rambling and screaming as the police streamed through, flowing through the crowd. Greed turns in time to aim and fire. First 2 cops down, turn, run. Wrath hears shots and holds the door to the garage. Unfortunate for Greed. Oh God, buttons. No, I do not want to edit that thing. Okay. Stop laughing. Wrath hears the shots and holds open the door to the garage. Unfortunate for Greed, he was 3 steps closer to the first bullet shot back. And with that sight, a mighty woe from within took over Wrath. He closes the door to his exit behind him and opens fire. There were another 15 police behind the first two. Those two were just the fastest. I remember that day as if it was yesterday. You see, Sloth was the first to get caught. He didn't have his fix from this first robbery and assembled the new team in Texas 6 months later. They were to hit the Venial Bank of Texas in Sugar Land on the outskirts of Houston. Sloth wasn't the best at planning and lacked managerial methodology to follow through. One of his 6 new hires was an FBI agent. Venial Bank stayed a favorite amongst Texans for years to come because of this act. An FBI agent, Eljae, was following Lust, as his tracks were pretty easy to follow. Lust had become a regular in Panama within a year of the robbery. While perusing local bars, he came across this fact of life. This is actually true. You can rent an apartment that comes with a female caretaker who will cook, clean, do laundry, and service a man nightly. Agent Eljae knew that Lust had spoke Spanish and had received word from a local there that an American with a bad accent was spending money like crazy. He had rented a place just off the seashore with a bunny named Nina. Agent Eljae had followed Lust to the beach on this fate-filled day. You see, Lust was an avid sailboarder, and Eljae had watched from far off of Lust making contact with a woman who was also sailboarding a long way off in the Blue Lagoon. Eljae watched Lust leave with the female trailing. They looked like they were racing. Lust slowly gaining ground, he looks back, then tries jumping a wave. The wind must have picked up right then, thrusting Lust into the hard surface tension of the ocean. The board dropped down upon his head. Eljae could see blood by the sights of his binoculars, and these are shark-infested waters. Agent Eljae saw a show he wished he hadn't. Envy was caught 16 years ago by Manhattan police after a public disturbance at the Phoenix located near his home at 14th and A. From the report published in the papers, Envy tried to steal the man's coat. There was a fight, ending with Envy stabbing this man. The power of money, when money is not enough. Gluttony was found murdered in Chile 12 years ago. Apparently, he was running quite the sweatshop making garments for Tommy Bahama. After years of poor conditions, this small shanty town made of corrugated metal and cardboard boxes mixed with barbed wire fences pointing inward, the peasants had revolted. But oh pride, you took the longest. See, he changed his name and moved to Bolivia. After years of being the smartest at keeping discreet, he started to gain quite the following of admirers. This led him to win an election for parliamentary position in the city of De La Sierra. Pride did quite well to conceal who he was during his 8-year term. His Bolivian people were about to elect him as a socialist ruler, sending a ricochet through Latin America. And the US government couldn't have that. They only found out it was Pride after the CIA had sponsored Blackwater to assassinate this would-be president. And it was this day, 20 years ago, that the Deadly Seven had robbed Sin Bank. You see, son, I saw it all go down from the plaza. I'm Jonny5. Thanks, y'all.